What's up, guys? This is AI AIMBOT here, and we just got some amazing news about how AI is going to change video games forever. So of course I had to bust out the classic AIMBOT headset because I'm always ahead of the curve. You see, when I'm not recording videos or live streaming myself playing games so you can see whether or not I'm good or bad, I'm secretly using this AIMBOT headset to completely destroy everyone because I'm trash. Well, I mean, not really. I mean, this isn't even plugged into anything. But if you can believe it, that is potentially going to be the future of video games, at least if we're not careful. Because you see, at CES 2026 this year, where they announce all kinds of crazy technology and stuff, we got a couple of different announcements that I think are probably going to shock you guys. And this first one from PlayStation is so insane. It says PlayStation has patented a new tech called Ghost Player that can allow AI to play games for players who may need assistance or if they get stuck in game. Oh. Dude, I don't even know where to begin when it comes to roasting this. Like, this whole entire sentence just shouldn't even be a thing. But of course, in 2026, this is how we're starting off the year, guys. Now, in fairness, before we tear this thing to shreds, I do want to go over the Insider Gaming article that kind of explains more of what's going on here. So let's go ahead and give it a read. Again, in their article, they say a new Sony patent has surfaced called Ghost Player, which is AI tech that can not only guide the players who are stuck, but also play the games for you. And it is important to make the distinction between, having the AI just help you a little bit versus just playing the game for you, which is why there's actually two different modes. Sony's Ghost Player AI patents talks about a guide mode and a complete mode. And it says the guide mode can seemingly create an AI-controlled version of Nathan Drake in a game like Uncharted and show the player how they can get past the level. Now, this particular AI technology is not necessarily anything too new. If you guys have sped-run video games before, there will sometimes be a ghost or ghosting kind of feature enabled, and you can essentially learn from that run. You can see the ghost player completing the section, and you're essentially trying to just go faster than the ghost. God, I feel like I just completely butchered that sentence, but this is essentially like a flipped version of that. Instead of you completing a section and then seeing the ghost, and then you're essentially trying to outrun the ghost so you can get a faster time, instead of that, it's kind of flipped. It seems like in this AI guide mode, if you get stuck, the game can essentially just generate a ghost player, and the ghost player will complete the section and show you how it's done, and then you can just complete that action yourself. This isn't necessarily as bad as the next AI guidance mode we're going to be talking about, but I still feel like this is not necessarily a good thing. If you're buying a video game and you want to try to complete it, you need to have the ability, the capacity to want to learn, to grow, and adapt in the situations, and actually just experience the game for what it is. And it's crazy because I'm pretty sure everyone watching this video can admit that we're guilty, like I'm pretty sure everyone watching this video at some point has gotten stuck in a video game and they've gone to Google or they've gone to YouTube to try to look at a walkthrough or just try to figure out how to get past the section where they get stuck. And they're essentially trying to create an AI that will bridge that gap and just do it for you. But I feel like the potential problem with something like this is that by making it so accessible and so easy to access, that people will just stop playing video games altogether and they're just going to let the guide mode do it for them, so that way they don't have to actually think. I mean, this is kind of the problem with AI, is that you don't have to really think or learn or do anything. You could just be a stupid little dum-dum and just let the AI take over for you. And I know at this point you're probably rolling your eyes thinking, Eric, it's not that big of a deal. Stop whining about the AI. But wait until you hear about the AI complete mode. It says here in complete mode, the AI controlled character will complete the entire section for the player. Because of course there has to be an AI complete mode where the game will just play itself for you. You can't possibly just have some AI assistants come in and show you how to do it and then you eventually just do it yourself. No, you can't be doing that. If you're going to have an AI assistant in the game, they might as well just play the game for you, right? But again, before we completely tear this thing to shreds, let's keep reading the article. They're saying Sony's Ghost Player AI technology will be trained using existing gameplay footage online and will not require the developer to provide a pre-recorded character to play the game. The AI patents could serve as an upgrade to PlayStation's existing game help feature, which offers hints, tips, images, and even video walkthroughs to guide players through certain sections. So that's also kind of crazy too. Sony's Ghost Player AI tech is not even going to require the devs to do anything. They're basically just going to be borrowing footage, probably from Twitch or especially YouTube walkthroughs and playthroughs, and they're going to use that to try to teach people how to either figure out these sections or just train the AI models based off of that footage, and then they're going to use that to then complete the game for other players. This is so dystopian. It's so weird. It just says here, however, players should note that acquiring a patent doesn't mean the tech will be released. It could be years before we even see it in action, or it may not be released at all. And I guess that is fair. Sony is not announcing that this technology is being released today, or even next month, or even next year. They're just announcing that they have a patent for it, and it kind of seems like they're doing it so that way other people will not, create create something like this. So by taking the patents, they're basically just saying, hey, we had this idea first and no one else is allowed to take it. So I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing with this guide mode and complete mode. I'm sure it's going to be met with a lot of backlash because it's just so insane. Like, imagine paying $70 for a video game to just let the AI either guide you through it or even just completely beat the game for you. Like, it's like the equivalent of buying a movie ticket and not watching the movie. You just have an AI watch the movie for you and then give you a summary instead. Like, what? Just imagine how ridiculous it would be if I bought this $6,000 guitar just to have an AI play the notes for me. I messed up a little bit. I should have had an AI assistant guiding me through that. Whether you're paying $70 for a video game today or potentially $100 later in the future, AI doesn't come without a cost. It is extremely expensive to run and operate artificial intelligence and to have these different systems in place. We already know that it's potentially going to kill the environment. It's driving RAM prices up an insane amount, and the availability of RAM is probably going to be non-existent. I mean, it's affecting these companies in a lot of crazy ways. Apple might not release a brand new iPhone this year. Nvidia is potentially not going to be releasing a new GPU series later this year. And it's because of shit like this. It's because of the AI. And here's the thing too. I would anticipate that if a technology like this is going to be a stable part of PlayStation games, that the price of the games are no longer going to be $70. If they have to use AI to try to guide people through and beat the games for people, then it's potentially going to cost more money. And who knows, maybe there will be standard editions of the game where it doesn't include this kind of technology, but then you could essentially pay extra to have these features in the game. I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out over time, but there's no way that this is going to be a stable part of video games and not drive the cost up. It's ridiculous. And that's just the adult side of the conversation here. Like, let's be honest. If you're using the guide mode or the complete mode to have a video game essentially play itself for you, you're a skill issue. You're just a big dum-dum. It is completely normal and natural for someone to just not be good at something, especially if it's your first time doing that thing, or, you know, in this case, your first time playing a video game. Of course, you're not going to be good. Of course, you're going to get stuck, and that is okay. People nowadays need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the reason why all this technology and stuff is propping up in the first place, is because people don't like getting stuck. They don't like feeling like they're bad at something or that they're stupid because they don't know how to beat it on the first try, which is absurd, by the way. Of course, it's expected that you're going to get stuck or that you're going to have a hard time beating a section if you're brand new to something. Like, that is okay, and it's to be expected, man. But I can reassure and promise you that the best thing you can do in that situation is just try to figure it out. Try to learn and grow and adapt, because when you do eventually figure it out and you do get better at whatever that thing is, you will feel a certain level of satisfaction that cannot be obtained by running a guide mode or a complete mode with an AI assistant. And I guess to a lesser degree, just Googling it or watching a YouTube tutorial. But I feel like that is actually okay, because doing something like that requires you to step away from the game for a second and then still look up that information, and then you have to watch or read something, and then you have to, you know, use critical thinking there, and then still apply those skills to whatever you're personally going to do. Like, you still have to actually take some kind of action, and there's still some critical thinking involved in that process, whereas if AI just does it for you, none of that stuff is happening. So yeah, overall, my reaction to this patent is that this just kind of sounds terrible. It sounds lazy, and it's more garbage AI slop. That's really all it is. Now, you're probably wondering, Eric, why did you bust out the old AIMBOT headset? What does this have anything to do with an AI guide mode or AI complete mode that Sony wants to make for PlayStation? Well, we do have one more thing to talk about in this video, and it's this right here from Dixerto saying that HyperX has announced a gaming headset that will use AI to read your brain and boost in-game performance. It aims to give players improved accuracy and faster reaction times. To be a gamer in 2026, I tell you, you know, back in the day, we weren't even playing with headsets. Like, we were just playing on giant ass TVs, or, you know, like the CRT TVs and stuff, and just playing with whatever TV audio was coming out. And, you know, eventually people kind of learned, hey, you can hear things better, especially in FPS games, if you have a headset. And now we also have like IEMs where the audio's even further in your ear and you can hear stuff with even more pinpoint precision. But you know what? That isn't good enough. I need my headset to have AI technology that can... Well, what exactly does it do? Let's find out. We once again have another Insider Gaming article saying HyperX reveals headset that uses AI to read your brain and make you faster. You slow, dumb imbecile who doesn't use AI. You absolute peasant. I'm kidding, but let's go ahead and read the article. That isn't some fictional dystopian headline. Oh yes, it fucking is. This is where we're at right now in gaming peripheral technology. I mean, Probably not, but let's keep reading. At CES 2026, HyperX and Neurable revealed a collaboration that has given way to an AI-powered, sensor-fitted neurotechnological gaming headset. It uses non-invasive sensors to read brainwaves and encourage gamers to boost their performance. What an absolute oxymoron of a sentence. It uses non-invasive sensors to read your brainwaves. Dude, it is going to quite literally read your brain. Are we living in Black Ops 3 right now, where we basically have a DNA attached to our brains that will, help us improve certain things or like do certain tasks? Like, this is a crazy sentence. Non-invasive sensors to read brainwaves.
Holy fucking Christ.
The combination of HyperX's peripheral technology and Neurable's cognitive monitoring solutions endeavors to give players insights into their real-time brain performance and reduce their reaction times. Now the question is, how does this headset actually reduce your reaction time? I feel like this should have said improve your reaction time. Reducing, well, I guess, okay, maybe reducing it is correct. Maybe I need AI to power my brain right now, Jesus. Then it says, would you let a headset monitor your brain? Honestly, probably not, but maybe, just maybe this headset is the future and it might be time to retire this one. In a press release detailing everything you would want to know about the HyperX X Neurable gaming headsets, some telling tidbits of data were handed out. It was claimed that testing participants resulted in an improved reaction time of around 43 milliseconds on average, a number that was made even more pronounced by testing the headset with pro esports players. Okay, honestly, this sentence right here does catch my attention because improving your reaction time by 43 milliseconds on average, that's actually pretty solid. And it's kind of even more insane that they're saying that the effect was more pronounced when testing on esports players, like pro players, because look, those guys, they play on average 8 to 12 plus hours every single day. They're grinding these video games. They're trying to basically be the best that they can be. And if wearing this headset can give them an even better reaction time, that's kind of nuts. And this is what the CEO of Neurable had to say. It says, HyperX allows us to bring neurotechnology to gamers at a scale we've never been able to reach before. We look forward to the excitement of this strategic relationship, which represents a promising future of gaming. One where understanding your mind becomes as natural as understanding your mechanics. By making brain-computer interfaces, BCI, which is not quite D&I from Black Ops 3, but I feel like it's getting close. It says intuitive and invisible inside the tools players already use. We're proving that neuroscience can meaningfully elevate performance and transform the way people play. I ain't gonna lie though, there's one part of the sentence where it says where understanding your mind becomes as natural as understanding your mechanics. How is this not invasive? How is this not invading one's privacy? Like, in order to collect this information and this data, you have to invade our brains. It's like having a mind flayer, bro. Like, what? This is some insane dystopian shit, but we're gonna keep reading. And this is what Josephine from HP had to say. She said, we've always been about empowering power players with the best technology to play, and now with our strategic collaboration with Neurable, we look forward to giving more insight into how one's cognitive skills and focus impacts their gameplay to ultimately make them as competitive as possible. And they're saying it's not clear when the HyperX and Neurable headset will make it to market, and it hasn't been suggested how much such a device would cost. So here's the overall takeaway and the learnings from this article. There's going to be a HyperX headset that uses AI to essentially improve your reaction time and understands what makes you tick and like how to actually achieve that. But it also kind of seems like there's a lot of catches. We don't fully understand how they're achieving this. We don't know when it's going to release. We don't know how much it's going to cost. There has to be more information on how they're achieving this.
Well, aren't you happy to have me, Merc AI, your little assistants that will Google things for you?
Because I found this article from IGN saying HyperX and Neurable are trying to make your brain better at gaming. At least they're going to try to. I mean, if you're just that stupid, then maybe AI can't save you. It says, if you're anything like me, you've been in countless situations where your raid leader is yelling at you to focus up and pay attention. It's something I've always struggled with. But at CES 2026, Neurable and HyperX have a concept gaming headset that might go some ways towards fixing that problem. I mean, if you gotta focus up and pay attention, like, maybe get more sleep or something? We got G Fuel here. You can use code BERK, save 20%. The gaming headset itself doesn't really have a name yet, given that it's still in its alpha phase. But what it has sensors in the ear pads that can read your brainwaves to track things like stress levels, focus, and cognitive load. And what you're able to do with that data is where the actual potential is. I'm kind of concerned that we didn't read an actual sentence here, but at least we are getting some more information on the headset itself, saying that it can track things like stress levels, focus, and cognitive load. And it's gonna collect that data and then figure out what to do. But like, what does the headset do? It collects the data, but then what? I guess we just have to keep reading. They're saying when they tried on the prototype headset in Las Vegas, they did a human benchmark aim trainer to get a baseline reading of the response time. And they got a score of around 605 milliseconds, which actually does kind of seem slow. But I never said I was good at shooters. But after that first run, they opened up a program that projected a bunch of dots rotating in a pattern that somehow represented my brain. The goal really was to condense the dots down into a small focused circle by relaxing and hard focusing on something to essentially clear out my head. I sat back in the chair, took a deep breath, and focused. And well, I didn't quite get to the pure focus point that's intended. After all, it's CES. It's kind of hard to focus on any one thing right now. But I did succeed in making the brain dot galaxy thing smaller, which I'll take as a small win. Then, after going through that process, I was told to take the aim trainer test again, where I ended up with a slightly better score of 559 milliseconds. That's an 8% improvement. Not the best, but again, this wasn't in the most ideal environments. But that's actually kind of crazy. On the first run, they got 605 milliseconds, and then on the second one, it was basically reduced by roughly 50 milliseconds, which is actually pretty solid. But still, I'm not gonna lie, man, I don't understand how this works, because it's just saying that dots on a screen got condensed into a smaller focused circle. What do we do with that information? Like, how does this actually work, and how is it actually going to help us improve our reaction times? And that's what the last bit of this article is talking about. It says traditionally, EEG sensors that track your brainwaves have been these big, bulky science fiction looking things that you typically find in a hospital or a laboratory. But over the last 14 years, Neurable has been working on a way to shrink that technology down to something that can be worked into headphones. This gaming headset isn't the first time Neurable has done this either. In 2024, the company teamed up with Master and Dynamic to make the Modern Warfare 75 Neuro LT, traditional headphones with the same EEG technology. So let's go ahead and check this one out real quick. Okay, so here's the headset right here, and it's saying that it retails for $700, so it's definitely not a cheap headset to get. And they're even admitting that this headset doesn't just cost $700. You also have to be spending $100 extra for more features that could improve your productivity and focus. But going back to the HyperX article, it says those headphones were focused more on improving productivity, but the core concept is similar. Sensors in the ear pads pick up EEG signals from your brain, which you can use to train yourself to focus better. So this headset is not going to aim for you like this one. It's not going to actually improve your reaction time. You still personally have to take steps to better yourself and get good. Usually just having some sensors in the ear pads wouldn't be enough to pick up signals from all over your brain, and this Neurable headset is no different. Instead, it picks up the signals it can read from the sides of your head and uses an AI algorithm to infer activity elsewhere in your brain. It's imperfect and probably not medically accurate, but for the purpose of training yourself to focus, it's a good place to start. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't think this is it. But let's look at the other headset and see what it does over here. This doctor is explaining that the region of your brain most activated when focusing on a task is actually toward the front around your forehead. But wait. Oh my god, at some point we're gonna have a headset that has some kind of like forehead reading thing, which is somehow gonna have to fit my massive forehead. But because the entire brain is electrically active, or resonant if you will, the signals that reach the regions around the ears are quieter, but they are present. And I'm assuming this is some kind of app that connects with the headset that kind of gives you this reading. So it says your EEG signal quality is optimal, enjoy your session, and I'm guessing it just means that it's properly sitting on your ears, and then you can see these focus points. What in the hell does this mean? Oh man, I've got 72 out of 100 focus points. You have to get 28 more points to reach your daily goal of what? Like, what do we do with this information? This just seems like it could be a bunch of arbitrary gibberish. Focus time. This person spent an hour and a half focusing. I feel like Patrick in that one episode of SpongeBob. Focusing. So this IGN reviewer who had the headset said, when I listen to music with vocals, it really drops. Playing Battlefield 2042, I'm pretty well locked in and have longer periods of intense focus, and with Baldur's Gate 3, which is much slower paced, I tend to hover around medium focus. So my assumption here is that basically you wear the headset and it can give you the information. It basically lets you know if you're intensely focusing on a task or if you're just kind of coasting by and if you're not actively paying attention. What this kind of feels equivalent to is basically like having a sleep tracker, and you can check an app to see how well you slept and, you know, whether or not you were just lightly sleeping or if you achieved deep sleep that night. It's kind of like a similar thing where it's going to study you, collect data on you, and you can learn from that information, but it's still not really going to do anything for you. And this kind of brings me to the main point and the main takeaway that I think we should all learn from technology like this, and basically from this video. It doesn't matter if it's Sony's AI guide mode or AI complete mode that will basically play the game for you, or if it's an AI headset that's going to track your brain's information to then try to help you improve your focus. The reality is that if all this AI technology just disappeared the next day, what would you do? Would you actually be better at whatever you're trying to achieve, or would you still suck? And I think that's the harsh reality that a lot of people are going to have to face, because you can become too heavily reliant on technology, and especially AI technology that boasts that it can basically just do things for you. And I think it's really important that all of us just take a step back for a second and realize, hey, it's okay to suck at something. It's okay to be bad. The most important thing you can do, though, is actually try to build some skills to try to get better at something, because that's ultimately what you can offer the world. If someone ripped this aimbot headset off of my massive head, would I still be able to hit quad feeds in Call of Duty? The answer is yes, because this is just a prop, it's just a joke. But at the same time, I wasn't always able to hit quad feeds in Call of Duty. I wasn't always that good. I started with Call of Duty 4, and I was trash at the game. But the more and more that I played the game, the better that I got. And ultimately, after playing a couple years of different Call of Duty games and learning and improving and adapting, I got to a point where I actually could consistently hit quad feeds, and I could get, you know, nukes and Moab gameplays and stuff like that. And the reality is that being bad at something, but then putting in a lot of time and effort and energy to get better at it, is ultimately the result of something called muscle memory. And if you've never heard of this term before, well, here's Google's AI overview. Muscle memory is the brain's ability to store and recall motor skills like riding a bike or playing piano through repetition, making them automatic. And it also refers to muscles retaining cellular memories from past training, allowing faster rebuilding of size and strength after a break. So when some nerd like me picks up a guitar and can play something insane, it's not because I was innately good at that or because AI did it for me. It's because I put in well over a decade into practicing guitar and trying my absolute best to master the instrument. I do think to a certain extent AI is evil in the sense that it could replace people's jobs, it could actually kill the environment because of all the resources that it takes up in order to actually just exist. But I think what's also really bad too is that people kind of just want AI to do things for them instead of, you know, learning a new skill or getting better at something. But after reading up on stuff about the HyperX headset, as well as, you know, the guide mode here for PlayStation with this whole ghost player thing, I do think in certain situations where AI can come to assist a task and help you in a certain situation that you're struggling with, I think stuff like that can be okay in smaller doses. But really, it's the whole ghost player AI complete mode thing that just pissed me off and made me want to make this video, because when AI just completely wholly takes over and does something for you, you're not learning, you're not getting better at something. And I wanted to make this video and talk about it because I feel like that is really where AI just crosses the line. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me cover the latest AI technology news and stuff like that. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want an AI headset to do everything for you, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys later.
I don't need a dime, bitch, I'm still a